Hello, my friends. Thank you for supporting Ukraine and trusting my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, this is the best time to do it. Today, I want to discuss with you some important negative tendencies that I see on the international field. Let's start from the European countries first. I want you to know that most of the shells for the German military equipment are done in Switzerland. And the president of Switzerland, Elaine Bers, commenting on the possibility of re-exporting Swiss weapons to Ukraine, noted that at the moment it is impossible to talk about it, although German Chancellor Olaf Scholz criticized Switzerland for vetoing the supply of ammunition to Ukraine. The president of Switzerland said that they have legal restrictions on these supplies. At this moment, I'm asking myself, does Switzerland have any other restrictions in financing and keeping Russian money in the banks of Switzerland? All of us know that Russians have their money in those banks, and many of them are criminals. Are these banks' account blocked? What is the participation of Switzerland? Are they making money by the time, like in Second World War, avoiding sanctions? Does it happen? Nobody knows. Hungary has extended the ban on the import of Ukrainian products. The Hungarian government has extended the temporary ban on the import of Ukrainian agricultural products to include money, wine, bread, sugar, and a number of meat and vegetable products. Can you imagine that in one day? This list of goods to be banned was published in a government decree after Budapest announced a freeze on imports of grain, oilseeds, and some other products. Some of you who know the situation closely may ask why I didn't start with Poland that made almost the same restrictions. And I'm here answering you because Poland is one of the biggest friends of Ukraine. So objectively, they had reasons. And the reasons are that Poland is investing tens of billions of dollars into their agriculture with 0% profit for the local farmers. It is top priority for Poland for at least 20 years. And now prices for Ukrainian crops have decreased, so it made pressure. So Polish government tries to protect just farmers that grow crops. At the same time, the Hungarian government is lazy and just makes money on Russian oil and gas. They are not investing anywhere inside Hungary and are blocked to just import crops, but import all food from Ukraine. So they didn't block just for crops. So they are totally satellite of Russia, although they are NATO member. This is the problem that NATO has members that are performing against NATO and do nothing with that. To my mind, Hungary should have been excluded from NATO many years ago before the war. But this is weakness of NATO, and we have another topic today. So let's move to another country, which is Belarus. Belarus is a total collaborator of Russia. During the last 25 years, President of Belarus, Lukashenko, managed Belarus alone as it was just his home backyard. Never asked citizens, falsification of the elections, and many more. With this all activity surrounded in aim to save Lukashenko's power in the country, he always had help from Russia and China. Why? Because they are ideologically the same, autocracies. So Lukashenko did almost all the things that Russia asked to do. Let Russian forces go through the territory of Belarus, allocate Russian military aircrafts to bomb Ukraine, as it is much closer from the side of Belarus to reach Kyiv, Rivne, and Lviv. Belarus citizens formerly vote, but this means nothing for Lukashenko. So some brave Belarus citizens helped Ukraine during the invasion of Russians from north. So they massively staged sabotage on the Belarusian railway to slow down the advance of Russian troops. Other ways to influence their government, Belarus citizens have no chances. Vatican, the Pope says the Ukraine war was fueled not just by the Russian Empire. Francis said that conflict was fueled by imperial interests, not just of the Russian Empire, but of empires from elsewhere. This is interesting. I'm asking myself what he wanted to say. Why didn't he say this thing completely? From what other empires? Do we have any other empires? Some people can claim China and the United States are also empires. And I agree that China is an empire and it helps Russia to fuel the conflict. More and more often, we see small parts of the military devices being produced in China. The supply Russia sanctioned high-tech devices and even clothes of the best world brands that left Russia after the war began are supplied by China even now. The United States is not a part of the Great Britain Empire anymore. And for those who claim they support Ukraine, I remind you, you're not saying police are fueling conflicts when they come to the place and help to the victims, right? From the side of Ukraine, I can say that we are grateful and in debt to the United States for the help and the opportunity to defend independence. It's like France once helped the United States gain independence from Great Britain, or the United States helped Great Britain and the Soviet Union, including Russia, defend themselves against Nazi Germany. Do you think the Pope doesn't know all these examples from the recent history? Of course he does. So let's look closer at what happened. So first, the Pope came from Latin America, and like many people from Latin America, he can be in opposition to the United States and their partners, so to Ukraine as well. To prove that, I can suggest to you, just Google how many times he met Ukrainian presidents and how many Russian. The thing is that the current Pope is in contact with Russians all the time, even now. For example, there is a well-known contact such as Sevastianov, a representative of Russians' old believers who is in close contact with Putin, who is in personal friendship with Pope. Also, it is not clear why Argentina was so supporting the Pope in the last elections. It is suspicious because Argentina was always the country that supported different dirty things on the planet, saved thousands of Nazi German officers involved in Holocaust. These days, China has an agreement with Argentina to build a Chinese naval base in Argentina, a gateway to Antarctica. Do you think there are poorly hidden links somewhere here? I think so. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva offers Ukraine to give up Crimea in order to end the war with the Russian Federation. Poor Luiz, he suffered so much from the Russian war in Ukraine. Seriously, what kind of challenges has Brazil because of the war? Buying cheap Russian oil to resell it in all Latin America? How much did he earn on it? The thing is that autocracy supports other autocracy. It's like cancer. Once it's there, it wants to be spread all over the body. Iran, it was the country that was always supported by the Russian military technologies during the last at least 50 years. Within the war with Israel and opposition to the Iran citizens, Russia helped Iran to build a strong autocracy. Now Iran just paid the debt and support their ideological partner. For Iran, it is not just about autocracy. Iran is like Russia. Its empire and has occupied many neighbors, but Iran is very poor and standing like a colossus on a clay feet. And the clay is for Iran was always Russia, and now it's also China because they buy their oil as well. Assuming all above, some of you can ask yourselves, can I help in this situation and how? My answer will be yes, you can. The way is to spread your thoughts on the forums, in the comments below, and any YouTube videos. The thing is that it is important that you say, hey, I'm a citizen of some country, and I ask my government to triple weapons supply to Ukraine. I want the war to be finished. I want me and my children to live in peace, freedom, and democracy. So we need this war to be won as soon as possible. Also, avoid buying things and services from autocratic countries because this is where they take their power. This is where they take their money and corrupt everything around them. Without Chinese money, Russia, Iran, Syria, Venezuela, and many more tyrannical regimes that abuse their own population. And when they defeat it, they start a war with neighboring democratic states. So these regimes would have collapsed much faster and probably even without the war, without this great amount of money. This is all for today. I wish you a safe and nice day. You're more than welcome to ask me any questions and subscribe down below the video. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.